This is the food for the animals that are nocturnal. We've got a lot of opossums right now. We've also got skunk and raccoons. I really enjoy doing the food prep. It's just like cooking, but for animals, and we've got some interesting ingredients. But no, it's fun.
A lot of thought is put into feeding wild patients as they recover from injury or if they're coming into care as orphans. Each species needs a very specific diet, feeding plans, schedules. But this is not something we should ever do for an animal in their natural wild habitat.
People often feed wildlife because they think that they're doing a kind thing. They really have a connection with the wild animal and feel that they're helping it out by providing food. It's generally not a good idea because it impacts the wild animal in a very negative way. People usually feed unhealthy foods. They're going to fill up on human junk food, and they're not going to forage for the healthy food that is in our environment for them to eat. We see problems especially when food is given to babies. The wrong food can actually be disastrous for them. In the case of ducks and geese, they can develop something called angel wing, which causes their feathers to grow outwards rather than back in place. That will affect them for the rest of their life. They'll never be able to fly. Bird feeders can be a little bit controversial. Some people love them, some people hate them. You're having a lot of different birds coming together in very close proximity with one another in the way that they normally wouldn't in the wild. It can lead to increased spread of disease. Something that we see is conjunctivitis in birds, which makes their eyes crusty and goopy, sometimes to the point where they can't even see. Feeding often leads to behavioral changes. It causes them to be habituated. When people start feeding them, what that teaches them is, hey, it's okay to come closer. I'm an easy source of food. We actually knew of one coyote that was being fed in a cemetery. Food was being left out as part of religious practices. Even though the intention wasn't necessarily to feed the coyote, the secondary effect of having that food left out meant that that coyote did start to come around more. We were seeing a lot of hand feeding. And this really breaks down that fear that a coyote naturally has of humans. In that case, that coyote did have to be captured and was relocated to a sanctuary where it will have to live out the rest of its life, unfortunately. This was a wild animal that now has to live a life in captivity because of human intervention. But that's not the outcome for all coyotes. Sometimes they face lethal consequences as a result of human feeding.
When feeding wild patients at TWC, one of the main things that we try to avoid is any behavioral changes in these animals. We don't want them to associate people and food. When we're feeding babies, their eyes should be covered. They shouldn't be able to see you when you're feeding them. Coyote pups will often wear masks and like a dark color to mimic a mom coyote. We wear ghillie suits with deer so they don't associate people coming into their cages and feeding them. Our young raptors, we have to do what's called a blind feed, offering them bits of their food items without being seen. We always try to encourage natural feeding behaviors where possible. So offering live fish to water birds for the hunting aspect. For some of our omnivores, they like to search and dig for food. With our fawns, we like to scatter their food all throughout. It helps them forage and find their own food.
The way I usually advise people enjoy wildlife is by simply observing them. Watch them naturally forage for food, hunting. That's much more enjoyable to see them in their natural state. If you want to feed wildlife responsibly, you can do some of the following. If you do have the bird feeder, make sure that the seed is not getting all over the ground, keeping it clean, taking it down once a week, dumping all the seed out, washing it out with hot soapy water with a little bit of bleach and letting it dry completely before you refill it again with seed. Another way to support wildlife by feeding naturally is to plant a native species garden. Plants with big seed pods, service berries, different types of fruiting shrubs and trees are great. They also provide shelter, which is equally important. keeping our properties clean, making sure our garbage is all put away. So that means putting it in containers that animals can't get into, making sure they're not overflowing so that we can minimize any kind of conflict with our wild neighbors. And if you still really want to feed wildlife, I would suggest that you sign up to volunteer with us here at Toronto Wildlife Centre, and you can learn how to do that safely and to help our sick, injured, and orphan wild patients.
We want to thank our huge group of volunteers, interns, staff. They all work super hard to prep the right food. It's really great having them to do this work. Thank you so much for all your hard work in keeping our animals healthy, happy, and getting them back out to the wild.
If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit the bell to be notified when we share new stories about wild patients. We would also love if you shared this video with a friend.